It is Wednesday as I am Cindy Rowe from Cindy Rowe Marketing. And you would think I had some wine before this, but I didn't. I'm drinking my water. I have a special guest today. I'm so excited. I actually visited her storefront maybe a month ago or so, and really fell in love with it and asked her if she would be a guest on my show. So welcome everybody to Connie from After the Vine.
Hi.
Connie.
Hi. Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And we kind of talked a little bit before this, and I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so excited to have you today.
That's my job. I'm supposed to stumble.
But give us a little bit of background on what it is After the Vine is, if they haven't figured it out from my little slip-ups earlier, and tell us how you got started.
So After the Vine is a location where we feel that people can come to experience a really nice glass of wine. We have price ranges all over the boards. We have everything from like a $9 wine that is actually very, very good to $150 wines. So we have a premium range wines all the way down, to the $9. So I hope people feel approachable here because we have everything over the board, but you can come and you can do a tasting. You can do a 5-flight tasting of your choice. You can do as many of those as you want. And then you can come or you can have a glass of wine. We have glass prices available for any of the bottles. And all of our bottles, we have 137 SKUs that are all retail. So you can actually buy the bottle. You can open it up here. You can sit and enjoy the environment that we have created here and just sit and have a glass of wine. We can recork it when you're done. If you don't finish it all, if you do finish it, we have more. So it's really kind of an exciting place for people to come and relax, just chill out, have a nice quiet glass of wine. We always have some really good soft jazz going, some soft rock going, some soft country going if you're a country fan. We do have Lena beer as well. We have Lena beer, we have Generation beer, we have Founders beer out of Michigan. So we have something pretty much for everybody just to come and chill and relax in a place that we feel is very beautiful. We have these beautiful, huge windows overlooking Settlers Park. That is just so relaxing. The environment here, everybody has commented how comfortable it is. It's terracotta colors. It's, olive colors, dark ceiling, as you can see above me. But we have relaxing chairs, tables, just a place for people to come and enjoy a really good glass of wine. So
when did you open? It's been recent.
So we opened September 22nd. It was probably the full year prior to that in preparation. I actually had a full-time career, 36 years in county government, and I decided it was time for a change. So I up and quit that in March. So from March on, I've been doing wine research. I've been doing, contacting distributors, approaching wineries all across the nation. Hey, is this something that you want to send your wine to? Where we could taste it, where we could buy it. So I've been doing all the prep work. I had toggled between a couple different places here in Rockton. I toggled between buying a building and renting this location where I ended up at, which I feel was the smarter choice because I'm not a general contractor, and buying a building would have created me to be a general contractor. So I'm not a general contractor. So Stenstrom's, the location that I'm at, they did the whole build out and they did a phenomenal job. They put everything the way I wanted it. They, painted the colors I wanted. They put the tiles the size that I wanted. They supplied, all of the industrial stuff that I had no idea what I needed. So it was really good partnership with them. I felt that was the smarter move in the overall process and easier for me. So we got this up and running, and I was hoping to open September 15th, but I ended up pushing it back to the 22nd. Just because distributors and stuff, it was a little slow getting things in. But once we got up and running, I think it's a fabulous place for people just to come and chill and listen to good music and have a really good glass of wine.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Has this been a vision or a dream of yours since you were small, or like how did you come up with this idea?
You know, I've always, we all grew up in our younger years drinking, the sweet, kind of inexpensive wines, just in our younger years. And I did a tour in Michigan about 7 years ago that I really learned to appreciate how to drink the wine, what the wine was all about, how it was made. You learn to appreciate what you pair it with. It's really, the wine is really an accompaniment to eating and fellowship. So depending what the mood is, depending on what you're eating, really depends a lot on the wine that you're drinking. I mean, there's a specific for everything, and there's a story on all of it. And the stories just intrigued me, and I just felt like I wanted to share this at some point. Wasn't really a dream of mine for those past 7 years, but when I decided to change careers, I did a lot of research in the Rockton area. I was looking to do a business, a different type of business. And when I did my research, this wine bar kept coming up as being recommended by the community. So, I was like, well, this is what the community wants. I'm pretty sure they'll support it. And they have supported it phenomenally. I couldn't have been more appreciative to all the community members that have come down during the opening week and continue to come down. I have repeat customers already. Like I have my Saturday night family guy, and I have my, Friday night book club girls, and, my Wednesday night book club. There's a lot of book clubs out there. I'm just telling you. So it's
That's
been
great.
fun.
So my visit there was, like I said, about a month ago. We did a wine tasting, and there were so many wines to choose from. So we ended up doing a second wine tasting, and ended up buying several bottles of wine. And what I liked about it was wines I never heard of before, and vineyards that I've never. So it was almost a besides having a great glass of wine, it was almost an escape because there wasn't really something that. How else would I be able to experience that? So I think that's very unique to your place. I've never been to somewhere like that. When you go to a winery, it's usually their wines, right? That
Yep.
they're so. I love wineries, don't get me wrong, but I
Well,
love how you could experience so many different things, different types of wine at your one location in a little town of Brockton, which
I
is
know. Well, that was a big goal of mine, to have a very broad range of wine. I love the local wineries that we have in our area. Would love to have more of them participating in my shop. But the vendors, the distributors, they're the ones that come in and they'll bring me wines from their domestic customers and abroad customers. So they'll bring me Argentina wines, they'll bring me Mendocino wines, they'll bring me Oregon wines, Washington wines. They'll bring me wines from all over the world. And that's what entices me to bring people in. Step out of your box. I know everybody loves the sweet red or the sweet white or the Rieslings or whatever, but step out of your box and try something different, because there are some phenomenal wines out there with some phenomenal stories that taste amazing. And it doesn't have to be expensive. A lot of my customers indicate I have some really good prices for wines. It is like a private boutique. So, it may not be the Schnucks price on the same one, but you're experiencing some time here with some really good music. You're experiencing some time here with some really good views. It's really a comfortable place to go. And I feel like I'm very reasonable in all of that experience for the people here in Rockton. And like you say, I did the research, and there's nothing like this within, 70, 80-mile range of availability of all of these different wines. Wineries, you're going to get your 9 wines that they produce. Hopefully I'll have those 9 plus 9 others, plus 9 others, plus 9 others.
and you never know what you're going to come across. I love champagne, and we tried a bubbly there, and I forget what it was. I've yet to open it because I want a special occasion. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, life is a special occasion. So I think maybe I will have it this weekend because I have it in the fridge and I look at it every time I open it up. But I love that you've put in the effort to research things out and really find the wines that have a good story to it. How difficult was it to get in touch with the vendors or the distributors to help you with your research?
The distributors in the area, they're all friends. So once you meet with one, they tell the others, "Hey, she's
Okay.
got this going on," and they're very helpful. Where if I'm looking for something specific, and they don't have it, they'll direct me to a distributor that does has it have it. So that's what's really nice about how they work with each other and how they work with me, because they too feel like this is a great place to taste their wines and to taste any wine. And if they don't have it, they want to make sure that I'm covered to have everything for everybody. I know that's a hard thing to do, is make everybody happy, but that's kind of our ultimate goal. I don't want anybody to come in here and be disappointed where I didn't have what they wanted. And my distributors really help me with that. I have some really good sales reps that keep me in check. Just like this week, I wanted to put a Bordeaux section on my tasting menus, which I haven't had, but I've had people asking me about it. So I'm going to put for November a Bordeaux section. And so the distributors were bringing me all of these different Bordeaux's and letting me try. And, here's a true 100%, here's a Bordeaux style, here's a red, here's a white. I mean, we're taste testing, here's a dry, here's a sweet. Most are dry, but we did have a few that were quite fruit forward and tasted really good for Bordeaux. So I am going to have a Bordeaux section on my tasting menu if anybody's interested. I section them off by varietals. So there's a lot of things. Right now I have 46 wines available to taste, and I'm hoping to increase that for November. But that's not the total number of wines I have. I have 137 different SKUs in the building, but I'm only tasting 47 because a lot of people come in and they look at my list and it's like, oh my gosh, how do I read all this? So I don't want to get that too overwhelming for them, but I want to give them descriptions that they can sit down and they can think about, okay, do I like this? Do I like this grape? Do I like this region? Do I like this flavor? Do I like this fruit? I want them to sit and think about what they're drinking, because that's what it's all about. Appreciation, knowing what you're drinking. And I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not a sommelier. I'm sorry. I'm learning just like everybody else is out there. My staff, they're being educated as well. They're all brand new to this industry, but I'm telling you, they're picking it up very well. Probably better than I am.
I would hate to know what the training is like, right?
Well, sommelier training is a couple-year process, so there's a little bit of that is my goal. 3 to 4 years. I would love to be certified. I would love to be, have that plaque on the wall to let everybody know, yes, I know what I'm talking about. But I think with everybody coming in and asking me my personal opinion, I've been able to direct them to some really good ones that they've picked up and liked, other than just going to the grocery store and buying a bottle.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. One question I have for you is like collaborations or partnerships. What has been a key for your success this early on with those, the collaborations or partnerships that you've had here in the first few months of your business?
Well, the small businesses in Rockton are very well receiving. We all for one and one for all. They support me in all different directions. Frosted Farmhouse had me do some tastings early on, even before I opened. Sugar Britches had me do some tastings, and we're actually implementing every third Thursday chocolate pairings. So I'm doing some chocolate pairings every third Thursday now in collaboration with another business here in Rockton. We did 808 Cheesecake, which she was located in Roscoe for a while there. She's moved to Janesville, but she still brings her cheesecakes down here to the Rockton Roscoe area. So I've collaborated with her. The other businesses, they've been very supportive. Erica over at Board and Brush, the leadership organization of the Rockton businesses is a very strong organization, and we talk and we share and they support. It's been very welcoming since I've been here the short period of time that I have. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that for this community. It's awesome because I mean sometimes you would think with a small town that there would be a lot of I don't know.
Politics.
Yeah, but I don't want to say it in a negative sense. But when a new business comes in town, I really feel like everybody is arms open wide. Let's get on, and hug them and make sure that they're successful. And you always get that feeling every business that you go into in the Rockton, Roscoe area. Like, I feel like that's just a story that everybody shares and tells, and it's heartwarming, especially, from, a small business aspect. I just think, it's a great thing to have when you're in a tight community like that, and when there's so many small businesses.
And to support those, like, I don't have food and I don't want to be in competition to the restaurants that are already out there. And I don't want to be in competition to the bars that serve, the Coors Light, the Miller Lite, those things like that. I don't want to be in competition to the sports bars. I have one little TV and we put a fireplace up there. I don't put the game up. You go to Halls to watch the game. You go to Fibs to watch the game. You go to Fibs to eat the food. You come here to drink the wine. So I make sure I'm not a competition for any of the community or any of the businesses here, and vice versa. They're very receptive, and if somebody's looking for a really good wine, they push them down here, and vice versa. If people are looking for good food, I push them up to the main street and say, they have the best food up there, best coffee up there, best chocolate over here, best sports bar to watch the game over there. I mean, I'm constantly promoting the other businesses as well, as where they are to me as too. So I feel their love. I hope they feel mine in return, because I'm definitely trying to put it out there. We all are one big happy family here, and it's really an amazing community. It's so unique, so many different little shops, and we just try and help each other all along the way.
Yeah, I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe a hurdle or something that you had to overcome, since you quit your job and went full force in March to launching this really cool, unique place? Like, what's a hurdle that you would like to share with us?
Oh, the only hurdle is you can never start too soon. If this is something you're thinking about doing, you can never start too soon. There's a lot of, and I know COVID had a little bit to do with it too, but there's a lot of time frames that you have to fit into. As I mentioned, I was hoping to open the 15th or the week of the 15th, and that didn't happen because, I had to have things delivered, and delivery services are really lacking because of the COVID right now. But you got to fit into everybody's time frame. It's not all about your time frame, even though you're the one paying and you're the one opening. It's not all about your time frame. So, but Stenstrom's and the contractors that they had here, they were the greatest things. They worked as closely as we could together. Some of the equipment didn't come in as I expected, so we had to scramble, like my shelving unit back behind the bar. I had ordered that from a company way back in August, thinking for sure it'll be here by September. Never showed up. I had to scramble to get a contractor to build it. So, because this was my vision, I wanted it. I wanted this vision, and I ordered the equipment to make that vision happen, but it never showed up. To this day, it's not showed up.
Oh, wow.
It's still, I get notices. It's on the way. It's on the way. Till this day, I haven't seen it. So in the meantime, I had to scramble to find a contractor to actually build the units back behind my bar, which I wasn't expecting to do. So that put me back a little bit, but he was amazing. He actually, really did a good job. We got them painted. We got them up. I think it looks cute. It's the vision I had. So
It was worth it.
yeah, definitely worth it. But that, other than that, the advertising's been there, the media's been there, the support from the community has been here. I love the people that come in and I love the people that come in and leave and say, we're coming back. That's always, I've heard that so many times. I'm so awesome to have that kind of love in this community. I appreciate it 100%.
Yeah. So you kind of described a little bit of your future vision, but what does this place look like in 5 years?
When my lease is up.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the time you expand. No, but like your vision, like how do you want to see this grow, expand? What is that?
We have a limited availability here. The Stenstroms now have all of the retail area down here rented, which is super good. So now we've got a full spread of retail. Well, we've got some Edward Jones and we've got some insurance, but the mix, the salon, the acupuncture down at the end, and then the wine bar in the middle. It all kind of flows really good together. So the vision, I like to maintain. I'd like to obviously have more wines. My goal is to, supply a lot more wines than I'm currently supplying now, just to give people their options, new things. I'm starting to work with some of the vendors to have specific tastings, like Australian night or, Spanish night, with a whole night of just Spanish wines. We'd like to implement that on a monthly basis. Working with the vendors to do that right now. So we're kind of implementing that in December. We're working with a couple vendors right now, and that we've already implemented the local chocolate pairing that we're going to have every third Thursday. So events like that. I have availability. I'm closed Mondays and Tuesdays, so I have availability to rent the unit out for that. I would like to see more parties, more receptions, more gatherings of people sharing wine, sharing stories, just an environment like that where they can come and they'll have a good wine to taste while they're sharing their stories. So I'm 5 years down the road, might not look too different, but hopefully there'll be a lot more wine here.
Yeah, and I like though that you're thinking of a little bit outside the box, which kind of with the events and the pairings, and maybe it's not too outside the box, but I'm not familiar with a lot of wine bars, so that sounds exciting to me, and a little bit more exposure to whether it's the Sugar Britches or another local place that I probably wouldn't have the opportunity to visit. I like that idea. When you're talking, I thought about this. Like, do you have a support group of like other wine bar owners or whinies? I don't even know what you call yourself. But like, do you have somewhere where you can like bounce off ideas and they're like, oh yeah, or hey, we've done this, it was super successful, you should try this at your location? Or is there a community like that? Or are you part of something?
I haven't tapped into a community like that at this point. Right now, it's my vendors, my distributors. They kind of tell me what everybody else is doing. And, even some of the wines that they're purchasing in bulk, if it's something that's going to be selling or really popular, I tap into the vendors for that. At this point, I really don't have a support group in that respect. I'm hoping more places like this pop up and maybe we can create something like that. I just seriously just kind of feed off of the distributors and what they tell me what's going on and where, and I kind of watch the leadership group, the Rockton community leaders. I listen. We meet every month and we talk about what's happening in the community, and we kind of feed off each other. Some of the restaurants like the Fibs, the Rookies, the Rockton Into, we kind of all feed off each other. Like, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? How are you handling this? What this event's coming up? Are we all doing this? I mean, it's kind of a leadership organization that really helps me to determine what special I'm going to have, what wine I'm going to host, what you know what when am I going to have the live music. If there's nothing going on Sunday, I'm going to pull in some live music on that Sunday. So it's kind of a culmination of several different avenues of communication. But as far as a straight wine group goes, I don't think there's anything out there, but I'd like to start one if anybody wants to.
Well, it sounds though like you have a great group of local community, business people that you guys are driving in the same direction, which
Right.
and ready to support each other, which is very valuable. Like it's and I don't know if a lot of communities have something like that. So that's awesome that you have that. You've tapped into it. And what a way to, like you just said, feed off of each other and make sure that everybody is kind of like driving in the same way, going in the same direction. Let's make sure if we're hosting some kind of festival or whatever, that we're all in it together and making sure all the things are covered. Like you mentioned, there's nothing on Sunday, so let's make sure we have live music on Sunday. I think that's great. Good open communication is really helpful in having everybody be successful, especially in such that small area, right?
And I think the community government, the vision that they have now for the whole community, we've already put up some murals. They've already planted some corners where there was always just some weeds, and now they've planted flowers there. They're talking about vamping up a little bit over here at the Settlers Park, making a little bit more accessible to these businesses. I appreciate them considering us now in their vision, in their plan to make this community a little bit more accessible to everybody. So, it's part of the leaders, business leaders, and government both together. So I think this has always been a really charming community. It's definitely a very clean environment. Just love the people. I'm just excited to be here for sure.
That's great. Now, before we started, you talked about the stories that each of the wines had, and that's kind of, something that is very interesting to you. And so can you share, and before we end today, but can you share like one of your favorite wine stories that you've stumbled across so far?
Yes. So we have a wine called Tuarita. And the Tuarita wine is an Italian wine. And she was the first woman winemaker in this area of Italy. And she actually was the first woman winemaker to reach 100 points on one of her wines. And she did this at the age of in her 70s. So she's a 70-year-old winemaker making wine out of her garage to this day. And she actually goes out every day. And I love this story. It just makes the wine just taste so much more better knowing that somebody takes this kind of care of wine. She goes out to the fields every day and she comes back and she'll talk to her people. She'll be like, hey, row 26, plant 5 needs attention. Of course, she says it in Italian, Husker, you need to go to plant row 27, plant 5. It needs a little attention. She talks Italian 100%. So she goes out there every day with her dog and walks the grape vineyards to make sure that all of the plants are growing appropriately to meet, her expectation of winemaking. And she comes back and they go out and they fix the plant. She still harvests or still runs the plant at her house in her garage, and she's now 86 years old, and I love it that her dog is named Chuck Norris.
That's awesome.
So she's just a really cool winemaker, still kicking, still making wine, and I'm very fortunate to have some of it. So just love those kind of stories. There's a lot of them here with some of the wines that we make. We learn from the distributors where the vineyards are, the families, the 5, 6, 7 generations of winemakers, what they've endured, the fact that hard, rough vines make the best wine. I never knew that. I thought that would make the worst wine. Actually makes the best wines. Stories like that you get are just fascinating, and I just love to share those with people.
I love that. Yeah, that's so cool. I might have to try that wine.
I hope you do. It's really good.
Well, I like to give an opportunity at the end for all my guests to share whether it's a promotion or how they can find you, any sales, whatever. With the holidays coming, everybody wants to take that perfect bottle of wine to the hostess of the party. So what a perfect place to go. But I'll pass it on to you. You can promote yourself however you'd like.
Well, actually, just inviting people to come in and doing a tasting, inviting families to come in and share their stories over a really good bottle of wine. We've got some large tables in the back that seat 4, 6, 8 people. We can always push them together. We could do Christmas parties. We can do little gatherings. We have a capacity of 60 people seating. We've got a really nice bar area to just come sit and chat with the staff and hear some of the stories. We do have some specials going on with some Italian sweet wines. The Tassi Italian sweet red wine. It's a very effervescent wine. It's a really good wine for some really good chocolate. So you're going to see that paired quite often with the sugar richest chocolate. But we do have a special of that going on. Normally $15 a bottle with the Asti. The Tosti Asti that goes with it, normally $15. We have a special on that for $28 for a pack. It's a really pretty little pack to give for gifts. We do have some wine also available in very decorative holiday bags that you can just grab and go on your way to that dinner or that Christmas party or whatever. We'll have some wines already decorated up. You'll be hit of the party when you walk in and they see this big old fancy bow and this big shiny bag. So hopefully the community members will come in and purchase from that. We do have a lot, and I didn't mention this earlier, we do have a lot of artists, local artists. I invited local artists to bring their wares in. We've got some really cute decorative cards. We've got some really nice handmade wine bags. We've got some really nice artwork that's displayed here. We've got a whole, gallery of Angel Creek arts. So we do have a lot of local artists here that have their items here that are awesome for Christmas presents here in the holiday season. So hopefully everybody comes in, try some different wines, step out of your box, buy a really cute little gift. And so thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Connie, for joining me today. And it sounds like I need to go have another tasting.
I think you do. Come on in.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.